Hello, everyone. And hi, Simone. I'm hoping the connection will be a little bit better than last time. Good morning. Hi, Yvonne. Good to see you again, as usual. I wish it was in real life, but unfortunately not. Hi, Cindy. Katrien. Good morning. Have a nice Saturday indeed. Dag Siep, dag Huub, dag Dagmar. Hey, Dagmar. Good morning, good evening to you guys. Hello, Graham. Chang Li. And everyone else, and Philip, and good morning. Well, as you can see, guys and gals, hello, Olaf. The story of Simone's miserable connection continues. We are not entirely sure what the problem exactly is. We've tried different phones, different hotspots to, hey, Jennifer, hey, you, we're glad to see you. Glad to see you too, even if it's only virtual. But yeah, Simone is having so much problems lately. And for some reason, this only happens on the afternoons. So whenever we are streaming to you guys, her connection is screwing up enormously, while mine, it seems, is fairly fine. And I mean, we're only a couple of bungalows apart, so cottages rather. So it shouldn't really matter. Hello, Wim. Ada di depan kelas. Oh, Wim, nice. Wim basically says in Indonesian he is sitting in front of the class. Mr. Eager Beaver. No, that's awesome. So yeah, we are having a, let me see at this one. So we recorded a class session. Well, let me just, before I start with everything else, let's get some housekeeping out of the way first, as usual. Please do share the stream right now. Click the share button on your bottom right, I believe. And yes, Graham, we are going to definitely try that, but I don't know what will happen, but we will see. So please do share the stream. And get the word out to as many people as possible. And once again, I want to thank everyone for their kind donations. Not in the least, Dagteam Barne, you were very generous. You went together as a diving team and you helped us out enormously. So thank you very much. Let me see if I can get a hold of Simone. Hello, Ernst. Let's see here if we can do that. We'll just give her a couple of seconds to connect.
Hi, guys.
Yeah, it's really annoying, this.
I hope you can hear me. You can hear me?
Oh, you are very crisp right now. Or did I speak too soon? No, you're freezing up again.
This.
Yeah. Simone? Maybe you should try my phone. If you can hear me, I also sent you a WhatsApp, which I think she's looking at right now. But yeah. Maybe we'll do that, Graham. Actually, I think I'm going to do that. Hi, join me here. Great. So she's here.
How did you play with your computer?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. That's fine too. Okay, so have a seat. Welcome. Oh. Careful, it's very slippery. So.
Hello, everybody.
Wow. Yeah, okay. What a terrible connection you have.
Yes. It's not fun.
No, I hope this is better for everyone. And
you're so nice, Graham. I love you too. Okay. So
well, I've done all the formalities. If you
well,
want
hello,
to explain
everybody. Hello, everybody. We're going to try something new, and I would really, really appreciate your very honest opinion afterwards, right? So we're honestly running a little bit out of subjects for our live streams, but we don't want to stop it. We just want to continue and seeing all of you online and being interested. So we still have a few ideas, but this is a tryout. As you know, I am an instructor, and at the moment I'm still teaching a lot, but mainly for the kids of the school who are doing open water advanced rescue, EFR, and nitrox specialties. And I enjoy that very much. Yeah, this is what keeps me going for many years already. And I thought, well, maybe I can share a little bit of that teaching with you. It's not that I think you're bad divers, definitely not, but not all of you are regularly in the water. Some do, like Graham and Matthew, and I think Catherine and Jürgen also dive regularly, but not everybody. So I thought maybe you can use it as a refresher, or maybe you even pick up something new. And if after the end of this stream you are interested in having the outline or the presentation, especially for the instructors there, I'd be very happy to share. So yeah, let me know and be honest about it. And if you do like it, there might be another couple of subjects that we can use for the live stream. So yeah, that's my introduction. And in between, it's a presentation of about
36 minutes.
36 minutes. So if we will stop every 10 minutes or something.
Well, yeah, or as soon as people have questions.
And then if you have any questions, just shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, this works actually.
This works.
With the two of us in one screen.
Yeah, but.
Yeah, we are not snip and snap now.
Yeah. We're snip and snap. Peppy and Cookie.
Peppy and Cookie, okay. Okay, guys, so enjoy.
All right. I will share this. Just a second. Okay, here we go.
Today's live stream is about buoyancy. I hope that in the past 2 years that we all suffered under COVID, you have been able to dive locally maybe. If you haven't, and then I do hope that this year will be the change and you can get into the water again. Now, as you know, one of the beauties of diving is to be weightless and floating and gliding through the water. And that is something that not everybody equally masters. So what are the advantages of
controlling your buoyancy? Well, just gliding and following a dive guide and gliding along the reef is for most people not a big problem. But what if you would like to make that beautiful picture that you have in mind using one of the cameras that Graham last week promoted? Or what if you make a deeper dive on the wreck here in the front and you have to make a safety stop? You don't want to take any risk on yourself. And imagine that you're hanging there around 5 meters, neutrally buoyant, and then this whale shark passes by. You don't want to move too much, you don't want to wave your arms and then chase it away. You want to have a look as long as you can. So let's talk a little bit about this guy. This guy is called Archimedes. Maybe you remember him from school. And he found out that when he filled his bathtub full with water and then he stepped in it, that water ran over the side of the tub. And he thought, Eureka, I know, I understand what is happening. And he came up with Archimedes' law, which says an object fully or partially submerged in a fluid experience an upward force equal to the weight of the displaced fluid. So this is actually the physics of buoyancy. We're actually dealing with two kinds of weights. In one way, if this is an object, then we have a weight of the object and it's expressed in kilos. But we also have the fact that where this object is in the water is being pushed away and wants to get back in place. So it pushes it back up. And if that object is heavier than all the water that is being pushed away, then this object will sink. If the water, the weight of the water, weighs more than the object itself, then it will float. And that is as simple as it is. As divers, we play around with weight, our weight, and the weight of our equipment, and the weight of the water that we are displacing. So we need to understand really what is going on there. Because the perfect situation would be if we are neutrally buoyant. The weight of the water we displace and the weight of ourselves should be in balance, and then we are neutrally buoyant. So everything starts with having the right amount of weight, because our body is our body, we cannot change that. And usually people have their own equipment, they have their own dive suit, they have their own BCD and regulator. So the only variable in this situation would be the correct amount of weight. A lot of divers think that when they put more weight on their weight belt, it makes life a lot easier. If you want to go down, just let some air out of your BCD and you just sink very fast. This is not the best way of figuring out how much weight you will need, for several reasons. Going down too fast might cause problems equalizing because you can't keep up. It also might cause that you lose contact with your buddy who has maybe less weight than you have. So better is to, before you are going to dive, to make what we call a buoyancy check. So if you understand buoyancy better, life will be better. So there are three factors that determine the amount of weight that you will be needing. The first one is your equipment. You dive in with a new wetsuit, then the neoprene is still new. The bubbles, the rubber bubbles, as you might say, they are still round. And as you know from open water course, that any volume, gas volume, will get smaller when it's submerged and goes under pressure. So your new wetsuit will get thinner the deeper you go. But you have to go down first. So if you have a new wetsuit, you might need more weight than you used to use. Also, when you change your wetsuit from a thinner to a thicker suit or the other way around, maybe you have bought a new pair of boots. Yeah, they float. Or you have bought a new pair of fins, heavy fins, and they sink. So any change in your equipment will affect your buoyancy. So every time you buy something new, then check it out again. Do a buoyancy check. We come back to that later in a minute. Another thing, the other factor is the kind of water. If you're a Dutch diver and you dive regularly, you will dive in fresh water most of the time. Fresh water has a different kind of upward pressure, has less upward pressure than salt water. Salt water is heavier than fresh water. And so salt water pushes you up with a bigger force than fresh water does. So automatically you will need more weight in salt water than you would need in fresh water. And the third factor is you. Yeah, if you haven't been diving for a while, you might be feeling a little bit nervous, a little bit awkward. And nervous divers, they have a tendency to hold more air in their lungs than they would when they are completely relaxed. And this extra amount of air in your lungs, that one will force you to float more. So how do we go about in this check? First of all, put on all the equipment that you are going to dive with. Yeah, if you dive with a thick wetsuit, put on your thick wetsuit. If you plan to dive with a thinner wetsuit, put on the thinner wetsuit, and so on. Then get into the water and get yourself into a vertical position and keep your fins still. Then you put your regulator in your mouth and deflate all the air from your BCD while not kicking. And then let's see what happens. If you're floating at eye level, that's good. While you hold your breath, that's good. If it doesn't, maybe you're floating head out of the water, it means that you need more weight. Are you sinking very fast? Just take 1 or even sometimes even 2 kilos from your weight belt. You exhale and you go down very slowly. That is perfect. Yeah, that is perfect. That is exactly what we want. Now,
Okay.
Okay.
Oops. So, like this. All right.
Okay. Well, this is the first part, and I'm really, really curious to hear what you think about it. I want to say hello to John Antenbrink. He's the first time on the live stream, I think. Hi, John. It's a long time ago. And hello, Catherine. I haven't seen you for a while, and Marion also. So it's nice to see all of you here.
And Wim said he was sitting in front of the class.
Okay, Wim. I hope you like it. So yeah, if you have any questions in between, just let me know, and if not, then we just continue.
Okay, let's continue.
One note with this: if you make this buoyancy check, sorry guys, I have to look for. If you make this buoyancy check, then you have to realize a couple of things extra. Because I can hear you thinking, yes, but that's not comfortable, and I have to really make an effort to stay at 5 meters and make my safety stop.
Okay, Simone, what was it you wanted to say here?
Okay, well, I wanted to say that I get a lot of responses. Yes, that's all kind of nice, but at the end of my dive, I'm always too light and I'm floating up and I have difficulty staying at 5 meters and I like to be overweighted and it makes me feel more comfortable. And it has I understand that. It's something that I hear very often. But there is a very valid reason why you should not be overweighted. And thank you, Huub. Nice to hear that from a fellow instructor. So let's continue.
This is because a lot of people don't realize that air has weight. Air weighs approximately 1 gram for every liter of air, which means that if you're diving with a 12-liter tank, which is filled up to 200 atmosphere, that you have approximately 2,400 liters of air available in your tank, which represents 2.4 kilo of weight. So when diving, you lose weight. No, not with your body. You just lose weight overall, right? You're losing weight every time that you exhale. So at the end of a dive, you have lost approximately 2 kilos of weight on air only. This is why if you want to make a very good buoyancy check, do this with an empty tank. It takes a little bit of time, but what is 5 minutes on a holiday of 2 weeks or 3 weeks, hopefully, and have perfect and comfortable dives after that. So it doesn't really matter if you would dive with an aluminum tank or a steel tank, as long as it is empty. With a steel tank, you probably will need less weight than with an aluminum tank, but as long as they're both empty and you do a proper buoyancy check, everything will be okay. Now, what would happen if you are grossly overweighted? And I mean carrying too much weight, right? Not being too fat. This is a very awkward and potentially dangerous situation, because what will happen? Well, you can imagine that if this is a diver, can you see that? This is a diver and he wants to be diving horizontally. He wants to swim along the reef and watch everything. But because this diver has a weight belt that is too heavy, this weight belt is dragging him down, and he's descending too fast. Now, to compensate for that, he has to inflate his BCD. But because he's overweighted, his BCD has to carry a lot of air. Well, you already see what is going to happen. The weight belt is dragging him down, but the BCD is dragging him up. So automatically, this diver will not have a horizontal position, but will have a vertical position. So he will be diving like that. Yeah, he wants. Now, every time he starts moving his fins, where is he going? He's not going forwards. He's going upwards. And when he's going upwards, remember Boyle's law, open water course? When an air volume gets less pressure, the volume will increase. So this diver will start to move upwards quite fast, actually, because the air in his BCD is expanding. So the only solution that he has is to deflate his BCD, and at that point the weight belt wins again and he drops down quite fast. And then the whole situation starts again. To compensate, he has to inflate his BCD, his position turns vertical, he starts moving his fins, he swims up, air is expanding, and he's going up and down. And this is a potential dangerous situation, and we call that yo-yo diving. People that don't control their buoyancy, they very often are yo-yoing in the water. Now, in another session that we're going to do, if you guys like this, we're going to talk about decompression and how this can occur. But yo-yo diving is one of the risk factors to get decompression sickness. Yeah, we try in every dive to go down your deepest part of the dive, and then slowly work yourself towards the end of the dive and towards the surface. So you don't want to make a profile where you go up and down all the time. This is not healthy. So having too much weight is causing that. And then another problem that happens to a lot of divers, and that is the descent. Preferably, we always want to descend feet first. Why? It makes equalizing easier. When your fins are pointing downwards, you can control the speed in which you descend. And it depends a little bit on the dive site, but it's also easier to organize your buoyancy and stay off the bottom. Now, many divers that are not properly trimmed or don't control their buoyancy, they descend and lose their balance underwater, and they die and they fall bum first. Now, if you descend bum first, you don't have any control left, and that is something that most divers absolutely don't like. To feel comfortable underwater, you have to have the feeling that you are in control as much as possible. So descending bum first, if that happens to you, there are two things I can tell you. The first one is a correction. So if it happens to you, you fall backwards, right? What you should do is turn over your length axle. So it means that you turn around, so your face points down and your bum points upwards. Automatically, your fins are also under your body, and that is the way to correct a situation like that. Another thing, a better thing actually, is to actually avoid it. Avoid falling down bum first. And by doing that is make a huge step. You point one of your legs forwards, straight forwards, like with your fin flexed, as high as possible. And the other leg points backwards and is bent in an angle. Now, I didn't have brought the wiper, but maybe you can still see it. So the position for this diver is like this and like this. And to have this position going down has a couple of advantages because first of all, you're not going down very fast. Secondly, it's very easy to stop by just pulling your fins together. And thirdly, it's easier to keep your balance. And now we're down. So we just descended, and now we're underwater. And we're hovering. Yeah, in a normal dive situation, this is not what you would do, right? This is an exercise for a peak performance buoyancy course or an open water course. Yeah. But there are situations where you would want to hover and stay motionless as much as possible. First of all, for not frightening anything that you want to have a look at, but just breathing and hanging still. And if you have the correct amount of weight, and if you have the correct trim, you can actually hover in any position that you want to. Maybe you don't like this, but what about if there is a baby shark under that table coral and you want to make a picture of it? You just go upside down and you don't damage anything. Or you want to dive in lembe. Well, this is not lembe, but it's a similar situation. Very fragile, sandy bottom. You don't want to touch it at all. Then you want to be perfectly still, not moving your fins, just hanging there and enjoy what you're seeing. But what do we mean with a good trim? Not everybody's body is the same, right? We have people with long and tall people like me, for instance. We have shorter and chubby people. We have people with a little bit more mass. We have very skinny people. So everybody is theoretically is different. And for some people, their how do you say that? How their body is divided, let's say, under an upper body is different. A lot of women have heavier hips and heavier thighs, and that sometimes makes it more difficult to stay in a horizontal position. Yeah? You can play around with your weights to compensate for situations like that. For instance, if you move your tank slightly up or down, if you move it more to your head, the tank, your upper body becomes heavier. Yeah? So it pushes you more head down. The opposite is of course also true. You push your tank a little bit downwards, you put more weight down. You can also play around, if you have a weight belt, you can play around by moving some weights to the back or to the front or more to the side to make sure that you are trimmed. A plane is doing the same. It has these flaps to stay stable in the water. So we're doing the same, but then using our weights. Some BCDs, and especially the ones with integrated weight, they have different pockets. Some of them have pockets on the back, which makes it easier to distribute the weight properly of your body. So that really helps to stay in a horizontal position in the water. So really try to stay horizontal. If you can have a proper trim while staying horizontal and not swimming and not moving, any other position in the water that you want to have will be easy. Yeah. For very severe cases, yeah, there are also neck or ankle weights. If you really always have sinking legs, this is really, really something we can hardly change. You could try lighter fins, you could try floating boots, but if nothing helps, then a neck weight might help. If you are always floating up with your legs, which is not the worst idea if you swim close to the bottom, for instance in Lembe, but if it's really bother you and you start to swim upside down all the time, then ankle weights are also really helpful.
All right. Good tips. Wait, let's get back to the people.
Okay.
So there's a couple of comments where we're going through. So
I want that one from Huub. Yeah.
Yeah. And buoyancy is always a good subject.
Yes.
Very important one.
Yeah. And then Huub, yeah, I hate to say it, but if there's really half a kilo loss of weight during your dive, I think you pee in your suit about half a liter of water. That would explain it. And Graham, if you want to dive longer, I think you dive a dry suit. I would not use the same system as Huub is using.
Oh, it's a system.
I think you will be in trouble.
Or just jog between dives.
That's not healthy either. Huub, you should see the next presentation. If people like this, then you should see the next presentation, which is about how the body works with nitrogen and how you can increase your chances on getting decompression sickness.
Hi, Wil.
Hoi, Wil.
Goedemorgen. And another comment from Josine about yo-yo diving.
Yeah, Josine, I know it's a very often occurring problem and not in the least forced upon by dive guides. And some of my dive guides used to do that too, actually, because for them it's very easy. They just pluck, they go down. And if they have to wait too long for their guest, they say, "Oh, you're too light," and they put 1 or 2 extra kilos on the belt or in the pockets or whatever. And yeah, then you get those situations. So after a little bit of education, let's say that, they don't do that anymore.
And Wim thinks these are very good tips.
Thank you, Wim.
And a long one from Graham, so let's read this.
If you don't have tank pockets and are using a weight belt, you can, providing your tank strap is in good shape and long enough, move one onto your tank. Actually, that is what I do. Although I have back pockets, if I use 5 kilo, then I have the 1 kilo on the back of my tank. It's really, it's also definitely a very good tip.
I do the same. I also use 5 kilo and then the one goes on the back. No comment.
Yeah.
Jennifer says the problem is, let's wait for it to come up. At the end of staying at the Lhasa, your body weight is more.
Yep. So the only thing I can say, what can I say? Yes, do two buoyancy checks. One before having all that food and one at the end. But I find it a compliment, Jennifer, really.
But that's not because of the diving, Susie.
What is not because of the diving? The peeing or what?
Losing 0.5 kilogram of personal weight.
Sorry, Huub, you have to enlighten us.
Or maybe now it's time for us to say no comment.
Yeah, no comment. Yeah.
No, keep them coming, guys. We love it. So let's resume with the rest of the presentation. Okay, here we go.
Because what we want to be streamlined. We want to glide through the water. It has so many advantages if you can stay nicely horizontal and not moving, having your arms crossed in front of you instead of waving around and trying to find your balance. Yep. So streamlining. So what do we mean with streamlining? With streamlining, it means that you are like a dolphin underwater, right? Your legs are stretched behind you and you use your fins as they are designed. Yeah? The blade of your fins is a little bit bended and it's designed to move the water outwards, away from you. It's not designed to move like this because you don't move any water. So you lose a lot of energy by just moving your fins without any result. So a proper fin kick is something essential for streamlining. Besides having all your hoses and everything else that you want to bring close to your body. Not everybody thinks it is easy to keep your legs straight and fin like that. If you find it difficult, there's a simple exercise. You can even practice that at home. You can start today, right? You bend your back backwards a little bit, then squeeze your bum and make your upper thighs really, really taut. And with this exercise, you move your legs up and down. So you can lay on the floor, for instance, and then practice that. I promise I will not see, I will not have a look. You just do it secretly. But it does really help to improve your position in the water. Also make sure that every fin kick that you make, that it actually counts and that you glide through the water. Very, very good if there is a current, for instance, and you have to go into the current to get back into the boat or to just take a corner and then continue with your dive. Get back to a rope, whatever happens underwater. Don't fight the water, but go with it. And the less resistance you have, the easier it will be. So what we don't want to get out of breath underwater, right? So that is also one of the reasons we want to be streamlined. It has only advantages. You conserve air, you don't get tired, you can dive longer, of course, because of that. And it's more comfortable. You will feel better and more in control. One of the things that you can do to improve your buoyancy is concentrate on exhalation. Nervous people concentrate on inhalation. They keep their air in, just like I said before. But if you concentrate on exhalation, then it will calm you down. You are heavier in the water, because your lung volume stays smaller. Therefore, you need less weight. I always make a joke is that you breathe in once and breathe out twice. What you can do is breathe in for 1 second and breathe out for 2 seconds. This is a very, very good exercise, which you can also do at home already before you even get into the water. By controlling your breathing, you can also control your position in the water, whether you want to go up or down. The only thing you have to do is change the frequency of your breathing. So you want to go up. You inhale slowly and exhale fast. Inhale slowly, exhale fast. Inhale slowly and exhale fast. And you will see that you're going up. Without moving your fins, without fiddling around with your inflator, without moving your hands. Just take your time, because your body has time to respond on the change in volume. You want to go down? You do exactly the opposite. So you exhale slowly and inhale fast. Exhale slowly, inhale fast. And you will see that you're going down. When you have never done it like that, it takes a little bit of practice, but once you can do this makes life so easy. You can actually go down until the 10 centimeters on top of the sand. Make this picture of this really, really, really tiny frogfish without even disturbing a grain of sand. And then once you are finished, you inhale, quick out, inhale, quick out, and you're going up. And nothing is damaged, nothing is disturbed, and you have this best picture of your holiday. So this is how you can actually use your breathing to go up or down. The conditions are that you are not diving with too much weight. Because if you have too much weight, then what happens is what I just told you before, that the air in your BCD will expand and you cannot compensate that with exhalation. So you have to dive with the proper amount of weight to be able to do this. And then, of course, there are the currents. Unfortunately, the places with the most fish are also the places with the most current. And when it's a simple current going from one side to the other side, we just make sure that we are neutrally buoyant and we go with the flow. We never fight the water as far as we can, as long as we can, because the water is always stronger than us. It's getting a little bit more nasty when the water is not going in one direction, but it's going down or it's going up. That is what we call a downward current or an upward current. Very often we can see this kind of currents happening a little bit ahead, or sometimes the dive site itself is notorious for currents like that. How can we see that? Well, if the current is going down, then a couple of things happening. First, anything that's floating in there is going down or up, depending on the current. But also fish behave differently. If there is an upward or a downward current, fish, especially schooling fish, are usually clinging together and facing all in the same direction. And they swim into the current. It's free feeding time, because all the plankton and everything that they feed on is coming their way. So we can learn from the fish. We have to do the same. You feel an upward current, then you put your feet up, head down, and kick yourself a little bit down. Is it a downward current? Feet up, feet down, head up, and keep yourself in position. Theoretically, that always works, but sometimes these currents can be really, really tough. And your bubbles are going nowhere, they're all staying around you, or they're even going down. This is for a lot of divers a very scary situation. Don't panic. Just swim out of the reef. Swim into open sea, and you will see that after 5 or 10 meters, the current is gone. Because these currents occur when there is a reef close by. So just swim out in the blue. Swim parallel to to the reef, and after 10-15 meters you can try to get back to the wall and continue your dive. It's not that scary as long as you know what you're doing. You want to make a picture, not with an upward or a downward current, but in a normal current. Never try to make a picture while going with the current. Just let yourself pass by and then turn around and keep yourself in position horizontally, kicking slowly, kicking gently, and you will see that you stay in a perfect situation to make these pictures, and you can really hold your camera still. So it's all a matter of technique, and then you can make these awesome pictures even if there is a current going on. So yeah, talking is easy, and explaining is easy, and understanding is even easy, but it doesn't teach you diving. You have to get wet, and if you feel that you could use a little bit of extra training and a little bit of practice, and you want to have an hour of fun or even 2 hours of fun, you can consider doing a peak performance buoyancy course. Just you learn how to do it, and if you think you don't need that, that's fine too. I hope that you really enjoyed this presentation, and thank you very much for watching the live stream. Let us know what you think. Bye bye.
All right.
So,
Awesome.
yeah, we're very good, very curious about your comments. So
let's take a look at what people have. Okay, so Graham is getting technical.
Yep. He's also completely right. Since I just told you that air is approximately 1 gram per liter, if you use 150 bar, then 150 bar, it depends on how many liters in the tank, Graham. Sorry, but could be approximately 2.15 kilos if it would be a 12-liter tank. If it's a 10-liter tank, it works a little bit different. But it depends on the volume of your tank. But yes, if you know the volume of your tank and you know how much air you approximately use, then you can calculate how much weight you will be losing during the dive. So yeah, thank you, Graham. One instructor to the other.
And different subjects, but I think, yeah, Jennifer.
Thank you, Jen.
Best food at the last time. It's pizza night tonight.
Yep.
Why don't you come and have one? And Yvonne thinks it's a fijne opfriscursus, which means it's a nice refresher.
Thanks, Vaughn.
And you were mentioning, while we were watching, Simone, you were mentioning about this.
Yeah.
It's easier to glide with a frog kick.
Absolutely true, Graham. But it's my experience that not a lot of people know how to do a proper frog kick while normal diving. I see sometimes the guides making frog kicks. I make frog kicks. I teach frog kicks during the peak performance buoyancy course, but for a lot of people, the frog kick while wearing fins is very, very hard. So I do agree with you, but I am not sure that it's the best tip if people don't know how to do it.
Well, do you have a tip?
Well, an official frog kick is pulling in your legs and then swinging them around. That's what you do if you don't wear fins. But with fins, that is a harder thing to do. So what I do is I turn my legs actually, so my fins are vertically, then open them like that and close. So you don't really pull them in, but you, from a horizontal position, I make them like this position, then pull them in and swing them actually out like this. So you could try that.
And well, Siep seems to think it's very useful.
Thank you, Siep. Thanks.
agree. Let's see. Good tips about the currents, says Josine. And Ivana,
What?
Ivanek. Well, maybe it's a friend of Josine who's watching.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah.
And okay, let me translate quickly. Wim says, I always write down in my logbook how much weight I use, and I try to minimize the amount of weights that I use.
Well, a good buoyancy check is absolutely very useful, Wim.
Yeah.
So when you're here, I will be very happy to help you with it.
Katrin thinks it's a very good presentation.
Thank you. Thank you, Kat.
I think so too. And yeah, Peak Performance Buoyancy was a very nice course and a lot of fun. I can speak from my own experience as an advanced diver. It's definitely a lot of fun, and you learn a lot from it. And wait, let's see what's Yvonne. We're looking out to the next one. This one's very educational.
Thank you.
Thank you, Yvonne. Dagmar. All right. Well, it looks like
Thank
people
you.
love it, Simone.
Yeah, that's good.
Pizza night, yes.
Come and have one, Kat.
Marion. Hi, Marion. Yes, we hope so
Okay.
too.
Yeah, ik ook. Yeah, once again, for the people that logged in later, if you feel if you're teaching yourself, like if you're an instructor and you are you're interested in having the, how do you say that, the text of this presentation?
Yeah, the presentation itself, and
or the presentation
and
the
notes.
presentation and the notes,
Yeah.
then I will be very happy to share it with you.
Okay. Let's see. Alice. She learned a lot,
Thank you.
she says.
Thanks, Alice.
Wait, we covered that one from Graham and the frog kick already. Yeah. I think he just double posted it accidentally. Paul and Yvonne, too late.
Too late.
Oh.
No.
So with the frog kick, Graham says not so much use in a current. I tend to agree.
Yep.
If you have to swim in a certain direction with current, a normal fin kick is always better. And happy if you keep teaching us. It's always good to refresh, even as we are not diving actually. Let's hope that will be soon. Huh?
Yep, I hope so too. Well, the news is good, and the Thalassa team is getting vaccinated finally on Monday and Wednesday. Yeah. And even Satoka, Aryan, and me, we probably next week, hopefully, we keep our fingers crossed, we also get vaccinated. So yeah, we're getting somewhere. Oh, thanks, Graham.
Hey, one instructor to the other.
You could try it out first.
Yeah. Well, now this is stuck in my mind, and I will now do it too.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Wim is asking, can you make a new video about the frog kick?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's do that for next time.
All right. Let's make a frog kick special. Jose, you came in too late.
Oh. Hey, and I didn't see Carla.
She's not a Facebook user.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But I think she does watch, because after every broadcast, she always writes an email to say, hey, I enjoyed it.
Oh, okay.
Please think about me. Of course, we always think about you.
Catherine, you're never out of our minds, honestly. And thank you, Ernst.
Yes, definitely.
Long time no see.
And and that's been an hour already.
Wow, just good timing.
So everyone, I get it, because you have to understand that we were talking after we finished making this video today, this presentation, that we want to ask people's opinions about this and what do they think. And it seems like many people are enthusiastic about this kind of format. So maybe we should try something like that again in the future.
Okay.
Right? Shall we do that?
Yes. Sounds good. If you have any ideas of subjects that you would like to learn a little bit more about, can you post it right now?
Yeah,
So,
or
send us an email, or
no, yeah, you can post it now here in the comments. We're curious to know your thoughts. If there's any specific subject you would like Simone to cover.
Yeah. So one of the subjects that are a little bit harder to understand for a lot of people is how your dive computer actually works. What happens? What is the base of your dive computer other than it's a bunch of chips in a plastic cover? What does it do, and what does it represent? So this is one of the subjects that I had in mind. If you like that, ideas are coming in. That is nice to see. Diving injuries, first aid, avoiding them. Yeah, good one, Graham. A cooking class.
Well, actually, we've done a cooking class.
Yeah,
we've done that before. Jennifer, look in our live stream archive here on Facebook. You can find the cooking class. It's one of the earlier streams, but it's definitely there. It's a lot of fun.
Yes, maybe we can do one more.
Yeah, why not?
So, what would you like to? Jennifer? What would you like to have cooked?
Yeah.
Any ideas?
More on underwater photography as well.
Okay.
Philip, for your information, I don't know if you missed it, but last week our friend Graham here did a special on underwater photography, specifically about equipment. People like the computer, DCS.
Yep, decompression sickness.
Yeah.
Dive table theory. Yes, that's the one. So I'm not going in depth in decompression sickness itself, but I would like to cover the theory behind it, behind the dive table and behind the computer. If people are interested in that.
Yeah. Videography, underwater videography.
Okay.
From Cindy. So.
Yeah, well, that's not really my subject. I do some, but it's not really my my expertise. Maybe we can ask Paul to do that.
Maybe. Yeah.
Paul, are you there? Can you do a presentation on underwater videography?
Sweet corn patties?
Yeah.
Onde? No.
No. Perkedel Milo.
Oh, perkedel, the Indonesian frikandel.
Perkedel Milo.
Perkedel. Oh yeah. Recognizing different kind of fish.
Yeah. Cooked, goreng, baked, barbecued, sushi, sashimi. No, just kidding. I am confusing to Josine and Jennifer. Jennifer wants to cook them, and Josine wants to identify them.
Okay, so fish ID, right?
Yeah. Could do that.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a lot of ideas.
Thank you. That's a good idea.
That's a great idea.
And maybe I can steal some of the fish ideas, because one of the in my second grade in school right now, they are almost finished with the advanced course, and we do underwater naturalist fish ID kind of dive for the advanced course, and they have an extra assignment for that. In groups of 4, they have to prepare a PowerPoint presentation about a specific kind of fish or animal underwater. So I'm very curious on what they come up with. Yeah. And who knows, maybe some of them have enough guts to do a presentation online.
Yeah.
Who knows?
So, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to compile. Navigation is another idea. Thank you, Alice. I'm going to compile all these ideas, put them in a poll, and then see who votes.
Yes. Yep.
Right?
Yep. Good idea.
Keep them coming. And in the meantime, it's time for us to say goodbye to everyone.
Have a very nice weekend, guys. And I don't know about you, but I like the 2 of us in one screen, actually. It's kind of fun.
Very busy. No, but have a great weekend, everyone. And we will see each other again next week. And once again, thanks a lot for your donations.
Yes, thank you very much.
And, is there anything you want to add before we go?
No.
Okay.
No. Hey,
bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. See you.